Make their debut here on Channel 8 High School Football Game of the Week as they are home on the Vincent J. Dvorak Third Field in Toms River to take on the Jaguars of Jackson in a Class A South Shore Conference football game. Hi everyone, I'm Ken Turp. Working with me doing the color tonight is Ray Wilson, and Toms River East has gotten off to a 2-0 start this year, and we're looking forward to seeing them for the first time on Channel 8 this season. And of course, George Jeck looking to stay in the thick of things in Class A South. Last year, you remember they had a great year and went up to the playoffs at Giant Stadium, which we did the game with the Brick Green Dragons, which Brick won the South Jersey Group 4 championship and beat out East for that Class A South Shore Conference title. Now the story on the Raiders, we're going to find out in just a minute because Ray Wilson's been doing some research this week. And before we get done with the pregame show, we're going to have a special note of interest on George Jeck, the head coach of Toms River High School East. A very special honor he's going to receive coming up this month. But right now, let's find out what's been going on with the East Raiders and Ray Wilson.
Okay, Ken, Toms River East Raiders come in this year after a 9-2 season last year. They returned 8 lettermen. The big question mark coming into this season was both the offensive and defensive line, and the coaches were very concerned about it. They feel that the 2 non-conference games that they have had so far were beneficial, and that allowed a lot of young kids to grow up and test their line before they get into conference play. The offensive line, although they played Hamilton East and Rawway, 2 teams that have not been very successful, still poses a little bit of a question. Hamilton East is 0-13 over the last 2 years, and Rawway has yet to score a touchdown. So although the Raider line has picked up some experience, the coaches are probably still concerned as the fact of whether they have been tested. The leader of the lines, both offensively and defensively, is senior Jay McKelvey, 6'4", 215 pounds, a super player on both sides of the field, whether it's offense or defense, and a guy that the Raiders are looking for from a lot of experience. Also on the offensive line, Scott Harris, John Sherman, and Tom O'Donoghue are looking to help the Raiders boast up their attack and get the ball moving. On the defensive side of the line, Paul Archimbaud, Ted Fenta, and Tim Werner are 2 or 3 of the performers that are expected to lead the Raider defense this year. In the backfield, senior quarterback Joey Scott has the same relationship that Jay McKelvey does. He's the leader offensively and defensively. Joey's running the ball very well this year. His passing's gotten off to a slow start, but the coaching staff feel that it will be coming around quickly. In the backfield, the Raiders feature Ralph Dowgin, a junior who shows a lot of promise and a lot of speed. Ralph was the sophomore 100 and 200-yard champion in the Shore Conference last year, and he runs with reckless abandon. His partner in the backfield is Bruce Russell, who is a workhorse. The coaches said he's in super shape, worked hard over the summer, scored 4 T this year, and has been the most pleasant surprise for the Toms River East Raiders. Offensively, they will run out of their wing T. They will look to control the ball, and as a result, open the ground game up and then give Joey Scott a chance to throw it. Defensively, they will play their familiar 4. They will be putting more people up front, giving some different looks in a hope to stop a bigger Jackson line and also to contain Dion Worthy, who is a transfer from Toms River East. Dion has carried the ball 38 times for 172 yards this year, so it's going to be a question as to whether the East line, coming in inexperienced, a little bit smaller but a little bit quicker, can control the Jackson Jaguar line that is bigger and stop Dion Worthy in the running attack.
Okay, right now, I don't know too much about Jackson myself. I did speak to Coach Bill Ruddy this week, and of course we remember the great team Jackson had 2 years ago. They won the Class A South Shore Conference Championship, led by a kid by the name of Brian Evans and Glenn Noyox, and of course they beat Brick in the showdown game when Pete Panuska was a junior. It was a great game. I saw it over at Jackson. Well, they won all the marbles that year, but it was a senior team. They all graduated, and last year Bill Ruddy had a rough season. Matter of fact, they won only 1 ball game, and that was against winless Central Regional in a very close game. The Central almost won with a field goal attempt late in the game. So we got a lot of new names that we're seeing on the Jackson team. The one bright spot for Jackson last year was Murphy, the tackle. He was all sure, but he's going on to University of North Carolina on a full football scholarship. So Bill Ruddy is trying to get things on the upswing once again. They opened, well, not a week, actually about 9 days before everybody else did. They opened on a Thursday night up at Cedar Ridge, and they won that game. But since then, they've lost to Middletown South and then Toms River South last week by 2 touchdowns. So the team we're going to see tonight, it's a lot of new faces, a lot of new names we're not familiar with. And as far as who's the favorite tonight, I think even though Ray pointed out, East has not really had a tough schedule yet, going to have to make East a favorite here on their home field. Ray, one of the things we have to point out, George Jeck has a lot of good backs coming back. Scott, the quarterback. You mentioned Dowgin, who they knew was going to be good this year. Russell was a backup last year. The thing they were worried about was young linemen coming in. They lost Verderosa and a lot of good linemen like Sigler. They had to rebuild there. But the thing in George's favor is his schedule. He's got 5 games where he can bring those kids along before the tough games in the conference come along later on. I'm talking about Brick, Toms River South. They're going to be later on in the season. This works to his advantage. He can break in those youngsters, mix them in with the veterans, get the blend, have some game experience for them as they get to the tougher part of the schedule. I think he likes his schedule this year.
I think any coach would like the schedule this year, Ken. Coming off the kind of season they had and losing a lot of players, they get 2 non-conference games to open the season and then gradually build towards the tougher conference opponents. I don't think there'd be any hiding the fact that the Toms River East coaches are pleased with the way the schedule worked out.
Okay, we're going to try to find George Jeck out in the field. He's usually got the lollipop. He does. He's walking around a 30-yard line right now with a blue and white cap on. And I've known George Jeck many years. It goes back to the old Ocean Gate Basketball League when George Jeck played in that league for the Ocean Gate AC. And I had my old Corman's Bar team. I've known him ever since then. I've known him through all the years over at Brick Township when he was the offensive coordinator. And I knew he was a great athlete in college. I never saw him play, but I was aware that he was quite a performer. I'd like to let you in on this. It's a news release that came from Montclair State College. It says one of the best multi-sport performers in Montclair State College athletic history, George Jeck, will be inducted into the Montclair State College Athletic Hall of Fame on Saturday, October 16th, between halves of the Montclair State William Patterson College football game. Kickoff time for that game is 8 p.m. In his varsity career at Montclair State, Jeck won a total of 8 varsity letters. He was an outstanding performer in football, basketball, and track. In 1960 and 61, he was a starting quarterback, and he led the Indians to 14 straight victories in football. And that's an all-time record that still stands today at Montclair State College. And until broken by Mark Casale in the opening game of the current season, Jeck shared the Indians' all-time record for most touchdown passes thrown in a single game. He connected for 3 against Central Connecticut in 1960. A varsity performer in basketball for 3 years under Coach Henry Schmidt, his scoring average jumped from 8 points a game to 14 per game during his varsity career. And of course it says Jeck is currently the head coach at Toms River High School East, and of course he started the program here coming from Brick, where he served for many years under Warren Wolf. We'd like to congratulate George Jeck on that honor, and as I was aware, he's a great athlete and he's certainly a great coach.
Yeah, George is a super coach, a super individual. He's always cooperative in dealing with you, and Ken, as you have, I've known George quite a while from down in the Ocean Gate area, compete against him in softball. So George has played a lot of sports, and he's always been a winner and a gentleman.
I spent a little bit of time with George last Saturday night. He was on his way to scout the Toms River North game, and I mentioned to him about going into the Hall of Fame, and he said, I don't know why they chose me. He said, I'm not half the quarterback that Joey Scott is here at Toms River High School East. So George is a modest guy, but he is certainly a great one, and we're glad to see him get the honors. That about wraps it up, so we're about ready to go. We're going to come back with the starting lineups for Toms River High School East in just one moment. Starting with number 6, he's a halfback, 6'1", 175 pounds, with an injury, as you can see, to his left foot, Richard Phillips. Number 7, he's a starting linebacker, back from last year's outstanding team. He's also going to be a running back tonight, 5'7", 150 pounds, Mark Yatesy. The starting quarterback tonight, also starting at safety, 5'11", 160 pounds, Joe Scott. Number 9, he's the backup quarterback. He's also the kicker for Toms River High School East this year, 6 foot, 175 pounds, Alan Gerber. Number 15, a running back, 5'11", 165-pounder, Rick Verderosa. Number 17, plays wingback, 5'11", 150 pounds, Chris Conte. Number 27, another wingback, 5'9", 140 pounds, Keith Kingsley. Number 30 for the Raiders, a running back, 5'6", 160 pounds, Chuck Morgan. Number 32, tailback, 5'9", 159 pounds. You'll see a lot of him tonight, Bruce Russell. Number 37, a wingback, 5'10", 140 pounds, Chris Gilmartin. Number 39, running back, 5'10", 185 pounds, Bob Haynes. Number 42, running back, defensive back. He'll play and start, 5'5", 142 pounds, Steve DiMezza. Number 51, inside linebacker, 5'5", 163 pounds, another starter, John Sherman. Number 55, a starter outside linebacker, 5'10", 177 pounds, a veteran, Tom O'Donoghue. The center, he starts, number 56, 5'8", 190 pounds, Scott Harris. Number 57, center, 6'1½", 185 pounds, Paul Fitzimmons. Number 58, offensive guard and starting linebacker. Started on last year's team, 5'10", 185 pounds, Tony Infante. Number 68, a tackle, 6'1", 197 pounds, Gerard Greco. Number 75, a tackle, 6 foot, 170 pounds, Mike Kenney. Number 76, a tackle, 5'11", 201, Adam Glantzman. 83, starting tight end and defensive end, veteran from last year, 6'4", 212 pounds, Jay McKelvey. And 84, split end, 6'1", 165, starter Mark Conte. Coaching staff for High School East, handling the offensive ends, veteran face here at Toms River East, Jack Bush. The offensive backfield coach, he's been here since they started the program, formerly coach at Toms River North, Mike Conlon. The offensive line coach, again, back from last year, Rick Dispoto. And another veteran coach from last year, defensive backfield coach, Joe Tirella. The linebacker coach, again, came here when they started the program, Al Zeluski. And the defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator at Toms River High School North, Ed Sarluca. And the head coach himself of the Raiders, who started the program here, George Jeck. George, first thing I want to say is we made this announcement during the pregame while you were warming up, as congratulations on being named to the Hall of Fame at Montclair State College. Quite an honor.
I appreciate that, Ken. There have been a lot of people in my life that were instrumental in that, and you know, after 21 years in college, you receive something like that in the mail. It kind of hits you, but thanks for bringing it up.
Let's talk about the game now. You're 2-0, but you're kind of rebuilding this year. You had some key performers back like Scott, Yajaica, Infante, but you're blending in a lot of new faces this year after that veteran team of last year went up to the Meadowlands. So I guess you got to be happy being 2-0 at this stage of the season. And how about your thoughts on the development of your team so far?
Well, you know, we played 2 out-of-conference opponents in Steinert and Rahway, and we kind of believe in our conference, and our toughest games are ahead of us. I don't think the teams in our conference have to step down from the 2 teams we played, so we're trying to improve and continue to improve because we know our toughest games are ahead of us.
I would have to think Jackson has to be improved over last year's season. They had a rough year last year. How much are they improved, and in what areas?
I'd say they're much improved. You know, they have some speed, and they have some kids that are similar to our kids. They're not very big in spots, but they're scrappers, and they play you tough. You know, they've got a lot of pride over there. They won the championship 2 years ago. You know, the coaching staff is solid, and we expect the ball game from them.
Okay, George, have a good game. Let me wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll be talking to you on a post-game show.
Thank you much.
Okay, George Jeck, the head coach of the Raiders, and we'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. Don't go away. New Jersey National Bank, the Red Circle Bank with offices throughout Ocean County, brings you all of tonight's football game here on Channel 8 as they do throughout the 1982 high school football season. Other participating sponsors on Channel 8 football include Pine Belt Chevrolet, Maritas, Service Star Hardware, the House of Paneling, H.I. Wright & Sons, Carolina Furniture, and Charney's on Washington Street in Toms River. Ken Turp with Ray Wilson. The captains are at the center of the field. Toms River East in all black with the white numerals, silver, I should say, helmets, and Jackson in their traveling white with black pants. And, of course, the officials are going over the pregame instructions. Number 7 is out there. One of the captains for East is Mark Yates, he's starting linebacker, and Tom O'Donoghue, another linebacker, is the other captain for East. Ray, you have the officials. Let's run them down right now.
Okay, the officials for tonight's game. Bob Fairweather's on the clock. Rob Phillips is the field judge. Ray Pennon is the head linesman. Rob Neiman is the umpire. And Frank Chicatano is the referee.
All right, the Raiders are going to receive to start tonight's ball game. They'll go from right to left on your screen. East, as we said on the pregame show, coming in with a 2-0 record, but we don't really know how strong the teams were they played. Rahway had been a dominant team in the Group 3 state playoffs every year, but apparently they lost to Scotch Plains in their opener. Scotch Plains had a 1-8 season last year. We'd have to think that Rahway not as strong as they have been, right?
Yeah, well, Rahway probably isn't strong, Ken. They haven't scored yet this year, so that has to lend a little bit of suspect to the strength of their team. And of course, Hamilton East is coming off an 0-13 record. They haven't won in the past year and a half.
Let's run down the offensive unit for East. Joe Scott, the veteran, starts at quarterback, number 8, 5'11", 160-pound senior. Bob Haynes will be the fullback, and Bruce Russell opens at tailback for East. Now, I said East was going to receive, and I was wrong. It's going to be East kicking off. So we'll go to the defensive unit in just a moment. Kicking off for High School East will be number 9, and that is Al Gerber, who is going to do the place kicking this year for the Raiders. He's also the backup quarterback to Joe Scott. The scoreboard is to our left here at East. It's down in the far end zone. We have a beautiful evening, a balmy evening. Breeze blowing, very comfortable. And the wind shouldn't be a factor in tonight's ball game. Dropping back for Jackson, and it's hard to read those numbers, Ray.
Yeah, I can't quite see who it is, Ken. I think
We'll come to the near back.
one of them is Dion Worthy.
7-yard line, fumbles the ball, and not much running room. Buddy Fitzpatrick, number 26, the ball carrier. Raiders haven't bottled up.
And Ken, right away,
Tonight's ball game.
I think we're going to get a look at something of interest to both parties here. Dion Worthy make his appearance in a Jackson Jaguar uniform, a former Toms River East Raider.
He starts at tailback, number 34. He's a junior. Rod Arcee is the fullback, number 44 for Jackson, a junior. Doug Johnson, a junior, is the quarterback, number 15. John Flynn, number 48, is the flanker back. The ends are Bill Crowell, 82, and Jim Sheeran, 89. And Raiders are up for that play as they pursue to the far sideline. Doug Johnson, quarterback, trying to throw, but nobody open. So it'll be second down coming up. A gain of 1 on a play, 9 yards to go. Tackle was made by Paul Archimbaud. Let's run down the offensive line. Bob Zinsman is a senior center, 5'10", 175, number 62 for Jackson. Tom Gonzalez, 77, and Larry Prevost, 75, are the offensive guard. John Caroccia, a 230-pounder, is one of the tackles, number 77, and Jim Grant, a 210-pounder, number 72, the other tackle. And the Raiders again stack up the play. The ball carrier was number 44, Rod Arcee, the fullback. Tony Infante, veteran linebacker, on the stop.
Okay, Ken, one thing of interest to the fans is Jackson runs a hurry-up offense. They get out of the huddle, go on the first count, and they do this so it stops the defense from adjusting. The Raider defense will not have time to adjust to their offensive sets.
They lost that yard on the plus, so they're back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for the Jaguars. That hurry-up huddle. Johnson looking to throw, got a man open, Worthy. He gets the completion. Coverage immediately as the hit was made as soon as he caught the ball. And making the stop for Toms River East was Steve DiMezza, left halfback, number 42.
Ken, I believe there's a flag on the play.
Explain the advantages to the hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Oklahoma, I think, was the first team to use that back when Tommy McDonald played in the early 50s.
Ken, I like it personally for a number of reasons. I think it limits your offensive offside because you're going on the first sound. And also, you'll notice they set their wideouts, come out of the huddle early, and then the rest of the team comes out and they go on the first count, and the defense has to set. You do not have time to adjust. Find the tight end, look for the strong side of the backfield. You've got to be ready to go when they come out.
All right, Jackson's shuffling substitutes in and out. Bill Ruddy is the coach. He, of course, succeeded Tom Faulkner at Jackson. 129 wins, 93 losses, 5 ties in his career. At Jackson, 24 wins and 20 defeats, according to Ray Wilson's stats. And, of course, he's coached in Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. Here's the draw to the fullback, Worthy. Worthy, short of the first down. And East is going to get the football as Jackson will send out Pat McCabe to do the punting. And he's going to stand just about at the goal line, Ray.
Yeah, he looks just about a foot inside the goal line.
Get away!
Fair catch. And East is going to have excellent field position as they put the ball in play.
On the 35-yard line, Ken.
35-yard line. So here we go. East first time on offense tonight. And they get excellent field position.
And we can look for East basic wing T offense.
Scott is the quarterback. And he hands the deep back. Stacked up, maybe a yard loss on the play as the right side of the Jackson line came in there, led by Larry Prevost and Joe Banis on a stop for Jackson.
Joe Banis, a big-sized young man. He's 6'3", 195 pounds.
The ends for East, Mark Conte, the split at 84. Jay McKelvey, 83, is a tight end. Scott Harris is the center for East, number 56. Wing to the left. I formation. DiMezza in motion. Here's a good quick play for East. And very close to the first down marker as they hit straight ahead.
And that was Bruce Russell, and the coaching staff at East is very high on Bruce. They said he's probably their biggest surprise. He worked hard in the off-season, lifted weights, ran a lot, and just reported back in super physical condition.
We've heard a lot about Dowgin. Ralph Dowgin, he's a junior.
Reckless
And,
Ralph.
of course, Russell hasn't getting many pipes so far. He's a good back. We're going to have...
I think we're close to a first down. Probably
It is a first down. They're going to give him first down. So the Raiders pick up the first down of the ball game.
The offensive line for Tom Zavries is coming off the ball very well right now. Jackson might be a little bit bigger, but the Raiders are attacking and scrambling, and their backs are hitting the hole quick.
Split backfield for the Raiders. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Scott, jump pass over the middle. McKelvey, incomplete. Tried to hit the tight end coming from the left side over the middle. Jay McKelvey. So it's going to be 2nd and 10, right?
Yeah, good looking play. They've got the Jackson defense spread out. Jackson's an even front defense. They got 4 down linemen. You can see it here. We're going to get a little inside jump pass. Old Bricktown favorite, Ken. Everything for years, Bricktown was famous for that play.
All right, here come the Raiders. They're going to send again twin wideouts to the far side, split backfield. Scott throwing on a run, incomplete. Intended for DiMezza, number 42.
Joey Scott gets out of there very quick. He puts real good pressure on the corner, and he's delivering the ball very well. The coaches were commenting that Joey's come around a little slow passing, that his running's been good, but tonight he looks like he's going to have a good night throwing the ball.
That offensive line has Scott Harris at center for East, John Sherman, 51, and Tony Infante, 58, are the guards. Tim Warder, number 60, and Tom O'Donohue are the tackles. O'Donohue wears number 55. And, of course, Mark Yates, he's also going to be in that backfield a lot tonight, number 7. He goes in motion as the wingback. Scott keeps. Coming to the near side, eludes one man, beats the second one down the sideline, and finally run out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Excellent keeper play, bootleg by Joe Scott, the veteran senior quarterback.
Yeah, it was a good-looking play. Was a keeper all the way. We got it right here on the replay. You see the blockers out in front of him. The blockers weren't quite successful in getting their blocks, and Joey picked up most of that yardage by himself.
That defensive line for Jackson has Jim Sheeran at end. He goes 160, a 6-footer. He's number 89. Rod Arcee, 44, is the other end, 175-pounder. And the two tackles are Mike Giglio, 185-pounder, number 51, and Larry Prevos, a 205-pounder, is the other tackle for Jackson, number 75. They have three linebackers. We'll run them down for you in a moment. Here's the first down play. Trying to go behind the offensive center. Scott, the quarterback, he gets the first down. They were looking for the first down. So Joe Scott picks it up on the quarterback keep. And Tom Zerese knocking on the door early in the game here. First possession of the football. They've gone down the field now, starting with excellent field position at the 35-yard line. Now reached the 15. Scott, jump pass. This time he gets his end, and looks like a touchdown, Ray.
Touchdown.
It is.
It is. Number 84.
Mark Conte to split end, and that was the same pass they tried to the tight end, Jay McKelvey, moments earlier. This time, the completion's made. Conte fought for the extra 3 or 4 yards to the goal line.
Yeah, that play is there. Here it is again. We'll see Joey Scott. He's calling his signals now. Gonna get a little dive fake to the right, jump pass. And an excellent job by the receiver, and he fights into the end zone. The official did a good job of checking before he made the call.
Mark Conte, excellent effort by the 6'1", 165-pound senior. Here's the extra point by Gerber. Yatesy holds. It's up, looks strong. It's good. And the Raiders take an early 7-0 lead here with 6:55 to play in the first period. A 15-yard pass play, Joey Scott to split end. Mark Conte, jump pass is good for a 15-yard touchdown, and the extra point by Alan Gerber, 7-0.
Ken, while we got a minute, we'd like to wish a speedy recovery to Dawn Meehan, the Toms River East manager who went into the hospital tonight, and the coaching staff and the players and people here at Clear Cable. We'd like to wish her well and hope she returns to Toms River East very shortly.
Ray, the flu bug has struck Channel 8. I've been out sick this week. Tim Everett, our director in the truck's been sick. And my voice is very weak tonight. I got a sore throat. And you're going to do my job tomorrow for me. Luckily, I'm going to have a day off tomorrow. You and Bob Strange will be down at Pinelands for the Pinelands Point Pleasant Beach game, a big game in Class C.
Yeah, it will be a good ball game. Pinelands on their way up, and of course, Point Pleasant Beach, one of the traditional teams.
All right, here's Gerber's kickoff, going to go deep. An excellent kick. Worthy had to go way back for it, and he's working from the 5-yard line, manages to get out to about the 20, where he is dumped rudely by some black shirts there. So an excellent kickoff by Alan Gerber, and it's going to be Jackson taking over for the second time tonight on offense here in the first quarter.
I would imagine that Dion Worthy's a very emotional athlete tonight. He probably wants to come back here and do very, very well in front of the Toms River East Raiders.
Those linebackers for East, we have Tom O'Donohue, 55, John Sherman, 51, Tony Infante, 58, and Mark Yatesy, who played such a great second half last year when he stepped on the starting line for East, at the outside right linebacker. Well, Johnson again running for his life, and lots of pursuit by black shirts over in the far side of the field. Johnson managed to pick up some yardage. It's going to be second down coming up, give him about a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Yatesy over there, that's his side Johnson ran.
Johnson, the Jackson quarterback, is 19 for 38 on the season and 2 TDs. There we see the play. And for 251 yards.
That secondary for East has DiMezza, 42, and Bruce Russell, 32, at the halfback positions, and the safety is Joe Scott.
Ken, there we see the wideouts are already out of the huddle for Jackson, and here they come.
Johnson straight back, steps up, dumps the short with a Worthy incomplete over his shoulder. Coverage on the play for Toms River East.
All right, we have third and a long 8 yards here for Jackson. Their offense is a little stymied. The wideouts are out of the huddle. Here come the Jaguars. All right, Johnson went back, completed a successful screen pass to number 82, Bill Crail, a 6'1", 175-pound senior. And the Jackson Jaguars picked up a first down. The ball is being spotted just inside their own 40-yard line, and the 39-yard line will be 1st and 10 for Jackson. Jackson's first successful offensive play of the evening. All right, we have first down for Jackson. The ball is on the 39-yard line for the Jaguars. Once again, the wideouts leave the huddle early.
Watch that middle!
Johnson back to pass. Looks down the field. Oh, ball was deflected by number 42, Steve DiMezza for the Toms River East Raiders, and the ball was intended for Dion Worthy. Johnson that time showed he can air the ball out.
All right, I'm back and having some technical problems here with microphones, and thanks for stepping in there, Ray. All right, ready to go here. My voice didn't go yet. Jackson looking to throw to the near side. They got a completion. Johnson hitting number 89, Jim Sheeran, the right end.
I think it's fairly obvious here, Ken, that the Jaguars have come into the game thinking that they have to throw the ball to beat Toms River East, and that Johnson is a heck of a passer in the opinion of Coach Ruddy.
All right, the Raiders clinging to a 7-0 lead here. Jackson trying to move the football with 4:47 to play. Center up over that football. Here comes the quick up to the line rush, off sides. Let's see who it's going to go against. Raiders jumped across. We're going to take a timeout here, and then we'll come right back. Coming up to the line of scrimmage with a first down.
Come on, Johnny, get across, Johnny!
Coming to the cut-in play, near side, turn it in. Flag on a play. After the tackle was made, let's see what the penalty is going to be here.
Personal foul.
As the ball carrier was Pat McCabe, Archimbaud made the stop.
Take it back.
5'7", 208-pound junior, Paul Archimbaud, left tackle on defense for East.
Ken, those are some interesting statistics. 5'7", 5'8", 208 pounds. You would expect a fellow that might be a little overweight, but Paul's a very solid built young man.
Fire plug type. Here, big penalty, 15 yards. Way back goes Jackson. They're going to march that penalty deep to around the 32-yard line, where Jackson will put it in play again after that 15-yard personal foul penalty. So Jackson getting up near midfield now, being pushed back due to the over-aggressiveness of one of the Jackson players, costing him 15 yards.
And that puts Johnson in a little bit of a hole. As long as they're in a running situation, his throwing is effective. Now everybody in the park knows that he's going to throw.
Let's see if the Raiders can pick one off here. 4 minutes, clock showing, first quarter, 7-0, East leading as they scored the first time they got their hands on the football. Johnson draw. No, yes, he does hand it off. Good fake by Johnson. I thought he was going to keep it. And the Raiders weren't fooled away.
No, they weren't. And as a matter of fact, I think we had a slight mishandling of the ball back there, and Tom Zavries played it very, very well. Ken, from a coaching point of view, I don't like that particular draw, because everybody in the ballpark knows that's a draw. No quarterback goes back to pass with the ball in that position.
All right, the Raiders trying to keep Jackson down here so they can get excellent field position again. They certainly took advantage the last time they started their offensive series, as they got the ball at the 35 of Jackson after the punt and took it right down for a touchdown. Flag on a play, and here comes the heat. And there's going to be a quarterback sack way back at the 18 as Johnson takes a big loss. Bruce Russell on a stop, number 32.
And also, once again, Paul Archimbaud was there. And Ken, we commented on him before, not only is he short in stature and pretty well built, but he moves fairly well. There we see it on the replay, and we'll see the pressure right there.
Bruce Russell was a backup running back last year, that veteran backfield they had at East when they went to the playoffs. So he's not new. He certainly got some experience. He had a chance to play a lot last year, and he's going to be a valuable part of this Raider team this year.
Well, I think he's already proved he's going to be a valuable part, and I think the coaches were hoping. I don't think they ever expected him to be as valuable as he is.
Bill Ruddy, from what I understand, is a very disciplined type of coach. I understand he makes the full squad go to church together on Sunday, and they follow a pretty regimented schedule. Believes in team orientation, being together all the time, and closeness. This is some of the things he stresses at Jackson. Well, here again, they hand off on the draw, and again, East wasn't fooled. They're all there to greet the ball carrier, and Jackson's going to have to kick the football away once again.
Yeah, Jackson is not running the ball too well. They have to throw, and they're getting themselves in a poor field position.
Pat McCabe standing there to punt. Rushes on. He gets it off. And this is going to take a East bounce, and it's immediately down by a host of white shirts. So again, East is going to get excellent field position, just like they did the last time when they made their 35-yard touchdown drive.
Right, and football, as fans know, and most of the knowledgeable people know, that football is a game of field position, and East is certainly getting it tonight. 12-1 on the clock, and they're in great opportunity to score.
All right, here come the Raiders now. Putting the ball in play. 1 minute and 52 seconds left, first quarter. 7-0, Raiders leading the Jaguars. Wing right, Scott hands off to Russell, trying to get outside. Turns it in, picks up a couple yards. Good run. Couldn't get outside, so he cut it back in, right?
Yeah, he started to go wide and cut back inside when the corner was taken away from him, used his blockers the best he could, and picked up a tough 3 yards.
Of course, the man, George Jeck, should be familiar with offense. He was the offensive coordinator for so many years for Warren Wolf at Brick, and used to be up in the tower for Warren, calling the plays from up top. Here we go. Raiders ready to go. Wing goes in motion. Fake to the wing back. Scott looking to the near sideline, fires. Complete. Beautiful play. And that's going to carry down to the 10-yard line. There's a flag after the tackle, and the East man is injured.
Now, I think we might have had pass interference on that, Ken, but it was a super catch, and the pass was delivered very, very well.
Trying to get the number of the player recorded. I still haven't picked up his number yet, but he is injured. Chris Conte?
Chris Conte, number 17, is the player. And Ken, I guess while we have him in here and we're talking about injuries, there was a major injury taking place in the Shore Conference A South this week as the Brick quarterback, Dave Darcy, broke his arm and will be out of action for approximately 3 weeks for the Green Dragons of Bricktown. And Darcy was 15 of 24 for 294 yards going into this weekend.
And he's also an excellent defensive back, and I believe he was a starter, wasn't he, last year in that team, or is that his brother?
I don't know, Ken, for sure.
All right, it was the man who scored a touchdown, Mark Conte, who we said Chris Conte, that's his brother. It was Mark Conte, the man who scored the touchdown for East, who received that pass, and he was up in the air when he was hit, but he's all right. And East has a first down at the 11-yard line. Tom's over East on the move once again. Scott has the split backfield, wing left. This time he gives the wing back, Yatesy. And not too much room, right, as they tried to go wide with Mark Yatesy.
Now, Yates's a tough physical type runner. He's a linebacker, and he basically runs the ball the same way. He doesn't really avoid a lot of people. He doesn't mind banging you.
So, they're going to mark that ball, Ray, at about, would you call it the 9-yard line? Looks to be about the 9.
Yeah, the ball is on about the 9-yard line.
So we got a second down for East.
Ken, I would look again for that jump pass. It seems to be working very, very well for the Green Dragons.
Well, they're going to have to wait to the second quarter. That's the end of the first quarter here at High School East. With a score, Tom's Reese Raiders 7, the Jackson Jaguars nothing. Ray Wilson and I will be right back in just one moment. We are back, and let me again tell you that the major advertiser on high school football is the New Jersey National Bank, the Red Circle Bank, with offices throughout Ocean County. This is the first play of the second quarter. The Raiders leading 7-0, and this one is stacked up at the 10. And quite a tackle made there by Jackson. Number 41 came in there and put a hit. Scott Frazier, the outside linebacker.
And that was one of the most unusual tackles that I've ever seen.
Some of the East fans being a little vocal here in front of our press box. Those linebackers for Jackson are Bob Panicu, a sophomore, number 23 at left linebacker, Anthony Smith, a junior at middle linebacker, and Scott Frazier, number 41, who just made that tackle, 165-pound senior on the right side. All right, second down for East. Scott wants to throw. He's going to throw on the run. He's going to keep it. Turns it in. Scott trying to scramble. And he's inside the 5-yard line to about the 3.
That was a very nice job of scrambling, Ken, and he got a very nice block out there for number 51, John Sherman.
So Joe Scott just tucked the ball in and turned it inside when he couldn't find it open. Now, what are we going to do here, Ray?
Well, I think first we're going to get the measurement, then we'll make a decision on what we're going to do.
Joey Scott up over the football here to see what they're going to do here in the measurement. Is it a first down? They're going to be fourth down.
If it's
Jackson up over that ball too. They're looking close.
If it's fourth down, Ken, I think we'll just see that quarterback sneak again.
It is. And we have a timeout. Tom Zarice to talk it over. And George Jeck goes out. There you see George with the blue hat on, joining his team.
Of course, Ken, we mentioned Bricktown before, and as I was coming up in the booth, I saw Warren Wolf and a couple of the staff members sitting down.
Warren who? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Honest, Mr. Wolf, he didn't mean it.
I have the utmost respect for that man, what he's done. He just keeps winning and winning and winning.
I don't think he knows what the word lose means.
I'll tell you, a man that respects him is a man right here running this East team, George Jeck. I had a chance to speak at the Tom's Brick football dinner last year, Ray, when they were #1 in the state. And it was quite a dinner.
Oh, I would imagine.
All kinds of awards to that team. It was a lot of fun. Here we go. East looking for a first down inside the 5-yard line. And looks like Joey Scott threw Jackson off there. He got a little anxious. Looked like Jackson's hand moved first.
Yeah, I think
see how the officials saw it.
I think so. I think that was probably part of the game plan that George Jeck went out there with in that particular situation. They run a long count. Possibly they've been going on a 1 or 2, and this time they were going on 3.
I think Marcy jumped. So they move it half the distance to the goal. So East with a first down inside the 5 in very good shape here, leading 7-0 early in the second quarter. Sets them up in the split backfield. And the man is tripped up.
Tripped up there.
Couldn't get his footing.
Number 26 it was, Buddy Fitzpatrick snuck in there and made the play for Jackson Jaguars.
So that's going to push East back to the 5. And the Raiders trying to get another touchdown on the board here with 11 minutes to play in the half. As they scored first here on the 15-yard pass play, Joe Scott to Mark Conte, the split end. Scott again has split backfield. And not much running room.
Now that was Russell.
Russell fighting for everything he can get.
Again, little Buddy Fitzpatrick was over there again making the hit for Jackson.
Well, Ray, it's getting a little tough down there.
I'm still waiting for the East Raiders to sort of unleash reckless Ralph Dowgin here. I don't think they've used him tonight.
Again, the wing right. Scott rolls to the near side. He's got blockers. Scott's going to go in. Touchdown, Joe Scott. And we'll call that a 5-yard run, Ray.
Yeah, that ball was just inside about the 3-yard line. 3-yard
Give
line.
a 3-yard run.
And once
Here's the
again,
replay. Let's
here we
watch
see
Scott.
it. Watch Joey Scott fakes the 2 drive back, and he keeps the ball and takes it around the right side and takes it into the end zone for the touchdown.
So Joey Scott having a pretty good night here. Passes for one, runs for another one.
Yeah, and let's point out right now the way East is set up. Here they come back over to the ball. They huddle away from the ball. Possibility of a 2-point play if Jackson gets careless.
All right, here's the extra point attempt. Left-footed kicker mixed it up. And Gerber has the extra point. 10-play drive, 33 yards. So we have a 14-0 game. That huddle, Ray, I saw that for the first time in 1975. Warren Wolf used that all year long with the Brick Green Dragons.
Yeah, Coach Wolf used it, and I believe that the play goes back, Ken, a little bit further. I think it's got goes back something they used to call the Lambertville Special offensively when teams would do that, and I think they've adapted it to the extra point situation.
All right, Worthy is deep to the far side.
Should be Worthy and Fitzpatrick back deep.
Fitzpatrick to the near side, number 26. And they're trying to make up their mind who's going to get on what side here. Try to outsmart the kicking team. And Gerber waiting for the signal. And we're about ready to go. Here we go. Going to go to the far sideline. Short kick. Rolls out of bounds around 35-yard line. So Jackson puts the ball in play. They're down now, 14-0, 10 minutes to go in the first half.
And they'll put the ball in play 1st and 10 on the 40-yard line. Now it puts them in a position where even though they have a good passer, that just about everybody in the ballpark knows they're going to try to throw the ball a little bit more. Of course, they've got a lot of time. There's no need to panic. 10:01 in the second quarter. They can ground pound it if they want, but I think the air game is their attack.
Jackson uses actually 2 tight ends, Ray. Bill Kroll and Jim Sheeran are both considered tight ends in their formation. They don't split them very often. There's that quick play, quick count, off the left side. Ball carrier Arcee. And he's going to pick up 3, maybe, they'll give him about 3. Second, call it 7 for the Jags, working at the 44. And Ted Finta was in there on the stop. He's playing right tackle for the Raiders. 6'4", 232, right? Junior. Here's a player to watch for the Raiders. Nice cutback here. First down for Jackson. That was a nice run.
Beautiful run.
Beautiful cutback by, I think it was Flynn, 48, wasn't it? John Flynn, the ball carrier, 5'10", 180-pound senior, and that was the best run of the night for Jackson.
Yeah,
First and 10.
He cut back real well and got some of his downfield blocking and picked up real good yardage for the Jaguars.
John Flynn is sometimes a flanker back, sometimes in the backfield. That time he was in the backfield. Worthy going wide to the far side. Worthy, who started here at High School East. Johnson, here comes the rush. Johnson cannot get away. He's going to be sacked way back at the 40-yard line.
Oh, we had Jay McKelvey.
And the man who made the stop was number 60, Ray. Tim Werder, who's a starter on that line. He's a right end. Watch the replay.
There are a host of Raiders there. Here they come.
Werder was the one who got there first, too.
Werder and McKelvey, right.
McKelvey right behind him. So big play by the Raider defense. Second, really long yardage for Jackson.
See, once again, Ken, Jackson had a little bit of a drive going, and then they lose yardage on a big play and put themselves in a definite throwing situation.
This time they split the end, crawl to the near side. Johnson looking to the far side, going long, going for the bomb. Worthy, incomplete. Excellent coverage there. Is that DiMezza? Should be Steve DiMezza back there. 42.
42. Steve
DiMezza. Excellent play. The 5'5", 142-pound senior was with Worthy all the way. 8 minutes to go. First half. 14-0. East leading Jackson. This is the first telecast of an East game this year on Channel 8, but we'll have some more coming up a little later on the year. Again, they split Corral to the near side, Worthy to the far side is the flanker. Johnson looking for Worthy again, coming inside, broken up, flag on a play. Scott got tangled up with Worthy. It's going to be an interesting call here.
It's going to be a very interesting call, Ken, because that call could go either way.
East fans yelling it's against the offensive team, of course.
I think Tom East has a justifiable complaint there.
That's going to go against Jackson. They're bringing it back, Ray.
Yeah, okay.
Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. They're going to march it off against East, maybe. It's against East. Pass interference. First down for the Jaguars. They'll mark the ball at the East 43-yard line.
Yeah, that was an odd type of a call. It does put a little bit of a pressure on the officials, but I think that could have definitely been offensive interference.
Well, I don't think the East fans naturally are not too happy about it. They're being vocal right here in front of us. So the Raiders got to dig in here.
And get a first down out of that.
Yeah, it's a first down. Here comes Worthy, cuts it in. He's got speed, trying to break one. Tackle was made by McKelvey, who was our player of the game last year as a junior, the defensive end. We call him Stork in relationship to Ted Hendricks, the great All-Pro, the Oakland Raiders. And of course, you got the Raiders here, and he is tall and lanky like Ted. Reminds me of him.
Coaching staff said that Jay has been ill, and he's been sick for about 3 weeks, running a temperature.
He's not the only one, Ray. It's been ill, I'll tell you.
Just now coming around.
Something is going around. We're all getting it.
He's got that corner over there, Ken. There's
flag on
a
play. The ball carrier was Pat McCabe, and there was a flag as he was hit. Let's see if it's a clip or... Well, let's not try to anticipate. Let's just see what the official calls here.
Yeah, it was a good job over there by the Jackson Jaguar. They really collapsed the whole right side of the defensive line for the Toms River East Raiders and turned that corner very, very well. And the back turned it up and didn't waste time heading to the sidelines.
No doubt it's against Jaguars because they're talking to East, and here comes the penalty. It's a big one, 15 yards. Probably a clipping call, right?
Yep, and Ken, you know, you hate to keep repeating yourself, but here we go again. Jackson has this little drive going, and they make some kind of a mistake, a penalty, or get thrown for a loss, and they just can't sustain anything.
So the ball is pushed back into Jackson territory at their own 48. Second and really long yardage for Jackson. Again, Corral split as the end to the near side. And here comes the reverse play with Worthy coming from the wingback. So it picks up about 7 on a play. Still long yardage for Jackson.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a Delaware inside handoff. Delaware's been very successful with that play, and a lot of high school teams have used it.
Worthy will line up as the wingback when he go power to one side in the eye, go to the wing back position. Depending on the formation, he'll be either the tailback or the wingback. Right now he's lining up as the wing to the right. Quarterback that throws, coming to the near side, intended for Crawl, incomplete. Covered on the play by number 60, Tim Werder, the right end.
Yeah, the play was read very well by the East defense. Yajaica did a heck of a job of pressuring the quarterback, and Werder did a super job of reading screen.
Yajaica's got to be one of the leaders of that defense, Ray. He stepped into the starting lineup late last year and really did a job. Here's the punt. At the 10. Russell trying to juke a couple defenders there, unable to move them, fake them out, and picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards on a return. So East takes over. They lead 14-0. We'll take a timeout and come right back. Just ran a play up the middle for about 8 yards, Ray, as they take over on offense. I believe that was Dowgin, wasn't it?
Dowgin or Steve DiMezza.
DiMezza's 42, Dowgin's 33.
I think Dowgin would lead Black on that play.
Oh, it was a good run. It's got 9-yard pickup. 2nd and 1 for the Raiders. They line up in the eye. Scott wants to throw. Coming to the near side. Man's open. Connie's got it. Connie has a first down. 4 times over East. And Connie's having a good night tonight. Mark Connie, 6'1", 165-pound senior split end. He's caught a touchdown pass of 15 yards tonight. And he was open there and tucked it in.
And with a flag on the play, we have a face mask. Here it is right here. Joey's got a little play action, drops back, delivers the ball very well. And I think the Toms River East coaching staff has done a super job of preparing for this football game. They've found the seams in the Jackson defense, and Joey Scott's just picking them apart.
Well, the penalty moves the ball across midfield into Jackson territory at the 47-yard line. East on the move once again. Joey Scott, Mark Connie, looks like a good combination this year. And you've got Big J McKelvey, another excellent receiver, tight end. This is an official's timeout. Equipment problem for Jackson. One of the mouthpieces was laying on the field. Jackson clear whenever got it. We're ready to go. 4 minutes, 55 seconds left, first half at Vincent Dvorak Field here at Toms River. East, Raiders in command tonight, 14-0. Scott gives off Dowgin, and he is down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Ralph is 5'11", 184 pounds. Good tough runner for East, and in on a tackle that time was number 51, Mike Giglio.
All right, the ball is now at the 41. 2nd and 4. Slot to the right. And Scott throwing. Beautiful throw. Man was well covered, but Scott laid the ball into Yajaica beautifully. Number 40 couldn't have played it any better. Pat McCabe was right there, but Scott just put that ball right on the target.
Yeah, he's put the ball right there, and was a good catch. Ken, one thing, there's a flag on the play out there. Here we'll see it again. Straight drop back. Scott sets up, delivers the ball to Yajaica, and you can see he was covered very well. And it's a penalty holding on Toms River East.
Yajaica set up well, too, and managed to shield that defender from the football. So it's back in East territory after that penalty. So we're going back and forth on these penalties, Ray.
Yeah, that was about the first time. I was going to comment, East hasn't hurt themselves too much with penalties.
So the ball's back at the 44. Scott jump pop pass over the middle. Got it man. That was McKelvey.
McKelvey that time.
Jay McKelvey.
Ken, there's...
We got 3rd and 11.
something of interest going on here, Ken, that I think Joey Scott's calling his own plays tonight because there's not a lot of shuttling of players for Tom Zeverese.
All right, here's the third down play. Again, the slot to the right. Scott straight back, setting up a screen. He's got Russell. Russell's got blockers. Russell to the 40, across the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Joey Scott setting up the screen pass, and Russell, the receiver, on the play.
I'll tell you, Ken, there was one heck of a block downfield by number 60, Tim Werder, for the Tom Zeverese Raiders. Just a super block, and it was, hello, Jackson, my name is Mr. Werder.
Well, we got 4th and 3, Ray. And the ball's at the Jaguar 41-yard line. Wing to the right. Scott keeps it. Scott rolling. Scott's going to go. He got it. He got the first down. He crosses the 35, run out of bounds around the 34-yard line by number 40, Pat McCabe. 1st and 10 Raiders. Good hustle by Joey Scott.
I'll tell you what pressure Tom Zeverese can put on the corner with a quarterback like Scott, who runs as well as he does. He fakes the ball real well, and he can pass it. Just a tremendous offensive weapon when he starts turning that corner.
Clock now becoming a factor here, but still plenty of time for East. 2:10 to play, first half, and Joey Scott's got the offense clicking again. They can avoid the penalties here. Might be able to move in for another score before the half. Here come the Raiders. Connie splits to the near side, slot back. DiMezza in the slot. Scott gives off to Dowgin. Dowgin still on his feet. Well, Dowgin's finally ridden down at the 30-yard line. And it looks like Jackson's recovered a fumble, right? They're setting
I think
their
the ball is
offensive
loose
team
in that offensive unit coming in, and
Jackson's got it.
Jackson recovers Ralph Dowgin's fumble.
So
And-
mistakes are hurting the Raiders, Ray.
Yep, on the 30-yard line. We were just going to comment, Ralph was the Shore Conference 200-yard champion in the sophomore meet last year.
Well, here comes Jackson now with 1:45 left in the half, down 14-0. Dodson getting some time, but nobody open. He's going to have to throw long on a run.
Got with the out.
Where's that? Broken up at the last minute. Good play by DiMezza once again.
Yeah, DiMezza and Yatesy was back there also. And actually, you know, we said he had Worthy, but he would have really had to get it out there. But the East defense did a great job. Here we can see it again.
No, I can't see.
He scrambles. He throws the ball long.
Nobody in front of him. Look at this.
Tell you, if he'd have got that out there another 4 yards, I think it would have been Jackson Band would have been playing over
Everybody here in the East stands kind of letting out a sigh of relief, but I guess DiMezza's saying, had it all the way, Coach, don't worry.
there.
Good defense.
2nd and 10 for the Jags. Clock stopped on that incompletion with 1:31 left in the half. Here's a good strong run by number 41 of Jackson. That's Frazier. Jackson's taking a timeout here to serve that clock. Tackle was made by Ted Finta. Ray, what are some of the other games going on tonight?
Well, we have some other games around the shore tonight. We have Neptune at Freehold Township, Shore at St. John Vianney, Howell at Wall, Keyport versing a local Clear Cable 8 team, St. Joe, and Red Bank Catholic at Manalapan.
And looking ahead to some of the other local teams, we have Central taking on Freehold Borough in what could be rated a very close game. Central trying to break that losing streak. And we got Tom's River South
At Lacey.
at Lacey. That's an interesting matchup of non-conference opponents.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I was talking to a few coaches before the game, and we won't give any names, but they say that that could be an interesting ball game. And lot of people were saying that Lacey has the capability to upset Tom's River South. I don't know, that's an interesting comment.
South is known for their speed, but Lacey's got some speed, and we saw in Donnelly and Musselman, pretty quick kids.
South is so explosive that Shelton, Harvey, McHarris, and Ware, I just think Lacey would have to really be at the top of their ball game to contain that explosive offense of the Indians.
Here we go. Jackson, third down play. Here's a beautiful fake. Pass is intercepted, though, and this may be a touchdown.
Russell.
This is Russell. Russell's going to go. Russell picked that off around the 40-yard line, and he goes all the way. It's called a 40-yard touchdown run with the interception. That was a nice fake. Everybody tackled the ball carrier, but it didn't fake Russell. Let's watch it again.
Here we got it again. Drops back, throws it a little off balance.
No Jackson receiver around, right?
No. The problem there that the coaches will point out on a film is he threw the ball going backwards. He never set his feet to throw it, and Mark Russell takes it 40 yards into the end zone for a Tom Zerese touchdown, and that is a backbreaker at 110.
Yatesy to hold, Gerber to kick. Flag.
All over the place.
Kick is good. Let's see what the penalty is. So East is working hard there, moving the ball down the field, and they keep killing themselves with a penalty or turn the ball over in a fumble. Now they get the touchdown after all, one big play by Russell.
Yeah, and that as far as Bill Ruddy and his staff have to be concerned, that is a back-breaking touchdown right there, because they get in 14-0. They're not in bad shape. 21-0 right now. Really changes.
I don't know what happened to Johnson. I just don't know where he was throwing the football, but I didn't see any white shirts anywhere near where he threw the ball. But threw it perfectly to Russell, and Russell really turned on his speed to come down the near sideline for the touchdown. 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the half, and now the Raiders have gone up top, 21-0, and threaten to break this game open now. They might not have much time to do it now, but they come out roaring in the third quarter. They're going to put this game away early tonight.
It certainly does put the pressure on the Jaguars, and I think even now with 110, Coach Ruddy would just like to get into the halftime with timeout.
Right, what do we got next week on the old Channel 8 schedule? I think we got Southern and Toms River North next Saturday night.
And tomorrow the Mariners take on Lakewood. It's Toms River North at Lakewood.
We got Manchester and Pinelands also next week. So we have a doubleheader coming to you again next weekend on Channel 8. Hope you'll be with us for all the action. Here's the kickoff. Nice end-over-end kick. The 4-yard line, Worthy. Across the 10. Close to the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 Jaguars. They have a minute to work with here.
Here's number 22, Mike Frudenberg. 5'8", 155 in on that tackle there for the Toms River East Raiders on the return of the kickoff.
So the Raiders have made the big plays tonight for their scoring. They did have that nice drive to start the game. They got excellent field position at the 35-yard line to start it off. And here's a breakaway run for about 10 yards for first down. So Jackson keeps plugging.
Well, I think that the speed on the line has overcome what size advantage Jackson had, but I think even looking at him, Ken, and looking at the stats, the Jackson size is not that much.
All right, they go to the near side, and excellent run out of bounds. Worthy was fighting for that sideline, and apparently, let's see, the Raiders are jumping up and down. They're near bench there. They like that hit. Worthy was really going all out. They stopped that clock, and apparently they didn't stop it.
And I believe that was Joey Scott over there on that tackle. And
I think that's why the East coaching staff was so happy they didn't get out of bounds. And Jackson's going to have to take a timeout here.
Yeah, Coach Mike Conlon was really enthused there for the Toms River East Raiders. And Ken, while we have a minute, why don't I run down the East coaching staff? Ed Sarluca is the defensive coach. Joe Tirella handles the defensive backs. Sarluca's the defensive coordinator. Al Zeluski handles the linebackers. Mike Conlon the backfield. Rick Dispoto the offensive line. Jack Bush the offensive ends. Pete Bush does the freshman. Jim Vescovi does the freshman, and Fred Daniels is another freshman coach.
So here comes Jackson now. They had to use up the timeout to stop the clock with 29 seconds to go as the Raider defense used to let Worthy get out of bounds. Nowhere to go. Gang tackling by East.
Number 60, Tim Werder in there again, making a big hit.
McCabe, the ball carrier. 1 second to go now. Again, Jackson takes the timeout. So East is going to go in with a very comfortable lead here. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a couple of interviews with other fall sports teams. We'll be talking to Gail Houtfoster, who really developed a dynasty at Times River High School South in girls field hockey and came over to the new school here to start the program with East. They're having a pretty good season. We'll talk to her and a couple of the girls, and we'll also be talking to Chuck Potter, the soccer team here at East won the South Jersey Sports Championship last year, and they're having another great year. You've heard all about Benson, who has, of course, already set the school scoring record for soccer here at East. And we'll be talking to Mike Benson and a couple of the other players for East, along with Coach Chuck Potter. Stay tuned for that coming up at the half. And, of course, be with us for the second half action. Johnson wants to throw. Heat's on. Oh, that was almost picked off. Crowd got the ball, but there was a Raider very close to that ball. That could have been another touchdown, right?
That was Tim Werder. We also have a flag on the play, and it might have something to do with the quarterback.
He was so close to picking that football off, Ray.
Yeah, number 79 Paul Archimbaud put a lot of pressure. Watch this, on the quarterback right here, and I think they're calling a late hit. He pushed the quarterback down. It's going to be against Tom Ziver East, number 79.
14 seconds left in the half. Well, it's going to move across the 50, the 49-yard line. First and 10, Jackson with 14 seconds to work with here.
Yeah, a very justifiable penalty. There was no need for him to push the quarterback.
Of course, Jackson would love to strike here and get something on the board before they go in at halftime. Johnson the throw. And he just fires it up in the air. Incomplete. And that should do it. No time left on the clock. So that's it. Ray, you want to give us a recap of the East scoring before we break here as the Raiders go in with a 21-0 lead.
Okay, Joey Scott started it all off by hitting Conte with a pass 15 yards out at the 6:55 mark, and the kick was good. We had a 5-yard touchdown run at 10:01 in the second quarter by Joey Scott, and the extra point again was good. And with 1:10 left in the half, Bruce Russell intercepted the pass, ran it back 40 yards for a touchdown. Again, the extra point was good, and we have to score 21-0. And apparently, we still have one more play left in the half here.
Not going anywhere yet, Ray, because they're bringing everybody back. The whole team has to come back here, and they're not going to end this half yet. Go ahead, finish what you were doing, Ray.
I think that concluded, Ken. We were just getting Russell. Russell went with a 40-yard interception at the 1:10 mark for a touchdown.
Well, we have East with a timeout right now. I don't quite understand why they're bringing them back on the field, right? But apparently the time isn't official on the clock then, I guess, because the clock shows
well,
no
there must have been
left.
A penalty on the play because the ball is being marked down the field, and
pass interference,
has some kind of a pass interference call.
I guess Jackson has a first down here, and they'll get one more play out of this. It was a little unusual because both teams had left the field. East was halfway to the locker room. They had to come back.
I think it was a little unusual because I saw nothing but black jerseys down the field.
One more shot for the Jaguars. No time on the scoreboard. 21-0. East leading. So Johnson will probably just throw long for the end zone. Now it's going to be a sideline pass, and that is incomplete, and that should do it. New Jersey National Bank brought you all the action of the first half tonight, along with Caroline Furniture, Charney's, H.I. Wright & Sons, the House of Paneling, Maritas, Heimbelt Chevrolet, and Service Star Hardware. All right, that's going to do it for the first half. It's game time to East 21, Jackson nothing. Jackson will kick off, and East will have too deep to return this kickoff. We'll get into some stats in just a moment when we get a chance.
Ken, do you onside this? You start going for it right away if you're Jackson?
I think they're going to kick long. Right?
I think try to make things happen here. Down 21-0, I'm going to go out and try to create havoc.
Well, here we go. We may have a trick here. There's a man moving around, but let's see what they're going to do. Now they're going to kick it straight end over end. It's a short kick. Takes an east pass and dies. Just died right on the spot. So
And it hit foot of the...
I don't think it counted, did it? It seems like a lot of fusion down there, right? Going to bring it back. Going to bring that one back, do it over again. Ray, give me some of those stats.
Okay, our unofficial stats have Toms River East for 9 first downs, Jackson for 3. The Raiders had 70 yards rushing. The Jaguars 47. Lee Scott was 4 for 6 for 67 yards. Johnson was 2 for 11 for 22 yards. The Raiders fumbled once. The Raiders were penalized twice. Jackson was penalized 4 times for 50 yards, and Jackson punted the ball 3 times.
All right, we're going to try it again.
Joey Scott was very impressive in that first half with his passing game, something that Missouri's coaches were concerned about.
Now we got all kinds of fooling around here. It's taking a while to get this kick on. And we're finally ready, are we? Yes, here we go. This time he gets a better kick, a little longer at the 20-yard line. And about a 7-yard, I think about a 10-yard return. So Tom Zaree goes on offense. First and 10. At their own 30-yard line.
All right, the tackle that time was made by Rod Arcee, 5'10", 75-pound junior for the Jackson Jaguars. Let's check and see if we have any defensive adjustments by Coach Ruddy and his coaching staff.
All right, Connie splits to the far side. Wing to the left. Scott, long count. Wants to throw. Going for Connie. Here's the long ball. He's going to go for touchdown. Connie took that ball at the 40-yard line, and he's going to go. Touchdown. I got 63
yards, Ken?
68 yards.
68 yards.
68-yard touchdown play. I'll tell you, Scott really wound up, Ray, and he was going to Connie all the way. He knew where he was going to go.
Yeah, here it is again, Ken. And look, it almost looks like it's going to be a quarterback focus. It's a short pop, and he just delivers that thing out there. And I think the Raider coaching staff can put their passing game worries to bed because Joey Scott is establishing it here tonight.
And what a night Mark Connie's having, Ray. That's 2 touchdowns for him, right? He got the first one tonight on a 15-yard pass from Joe Scott on the first drive of the ball game. And now he hits up 68 yards. Took that ball on the 40-yard line of Jackson and just outran the defenders. Wide open, Mark Connie. Extra point attempt by Gerber is good. So East strikes very quickly here. First play from scrimmage to start the second half. And we got a 28-0 ball game.
Well, that certainly comes out, and I'll tell you, whatever air there was in the Jackson balloon might have been let out right there. Coach Ruddy probably spent a lot of time building confidence and getting the Jaguars back up to play. And George Jeck comes out and deflates them immediately on the arm of Joey Scott.
So, Joey Scott having a great night, and Connie's having a great night, and East is having a great night, 28-0. So it looks like East well on their way to their 3rd victory, 3-0. And of course we mentioned we'll be doing their game right here with Brick. That'll be coming up later in October.
And
we're going to have, I'm going to get the exact date of that game, Ray, in a moment. I'll look it up. Here we go with the East kickoff. Good kick. Going to send them back to the inside the 5-yard line. And Worthy still on his feet. Worthy getting to the far sideline. Worthy may get a big one. And he's finally stopped at the 40-yard line. Dion Worthy went up the middle, then cut it to the far sideline. He was on his way.
Yeah, Dion Worthy is an explosive guy, and he almost broke that one up the far sideline, returned the ball out to the 35, 40-yard line.
Rick at Toms River East, Ray, will be played in November 5th, and we will have it for you on Channel 8.
Fumble
There's
in the
a fumble.
backfield.
Now, if East has this football now, they're going to really just completely demoralize Jackson.
We got a second, I think they're
like
signaling
Jackson's got
second down, Jackson ball. And on the play there, we had big number 83, Jay McKelvey for Toms River East.
Jackson not having an enjoyable night here at Toms River High School East. They gave up that backbreaker, as you said, right late in the first half. Touchdown play on the interception. Trying to go outside, dumped.
By that time, Ken Jackson came out in a full house tee and ran a basic conservative full house formation type play.
Bruce Russell came up to penetrate into the backfield, make the stop from his halfback position for East. Third down, 9. Quarterback throwing, and incomplete. And by the way, we got a new quarterback in there, Ray.
I think we got a flag on the...
Scott Miller threw the ball. He's a lefty, number 7.
Yeah.
It was in there for Jackson. Scott is a senior, 5'9", 150, left-hander.
And I think we got pass interference on the play, Ken. Here we got the replay. We'll see Miller play inside. The pass is delivered. You'll see the interference right there.
Bill Ruddy trying to get something going offensively, puts in Miller.
All right. There was no doubt about it. Was pass interference.
Lots of penalties
against
here
the
tonight.
Toms River East Raiders.
So the march into East territory, 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Jackson.
Another Class A South matchup tomorrow. Ken has Southern Regional at Bricktown.
Miller's still in there. Gives off to the second back, and he gets maybe 3 yards. And that was a hard 3 yards as he slipped off a couple tacklers.
Tom O'Donohue was in there, number 55 for Toms River East.
Like McCabe, the ball carrier. And again, the second back, Worthy into the secondary. Worthy has a first down. He's all the way down to the 32-yard line.
Coach Bill Ruddy's come out here and gone right back to the basics. He's running a full house tee, which is for his basic offensive formations. And he's just running a dive, drive, and looking to the outside back, and he's picking a hole. And here we see it. We had the dive fake, and then we give it to the drive back going off the outside, and the lead block by the fullback.
So Jackson on the move now, first down. Fumble. Tried to hand the ball to the fullback. Never had it.
Once again,
Jackson's going to retain possession. Will take a loss on the play of a couple of yards.
Once again, Ken, the Jaguars put themselves into trouble. Nice little drive going. They first down, and they just almost turned the ball over and lose yardage.
Well, anytime you put a new quarterback in there, Ray, you got to expect something like that's going to go wrong, either on a snap from the center or a handoff. That happened. So it's 2nd and 12 now for Jackson. And they continue to fake to the first back, give it to the second back, but East was ready for it there. Another loss on the play. McKelvey in there, leading the defense.
Yeah,
And he lost another yard, 3rd and 13, right?
Along with Bruce Russell, he was in there helping out on the tackle.
So they've been running the same series, Ray.
Well, I think it's a good series for Jackson. It's their basic offense. They're going back trying to eliminate mistakes. Here we see it again.
Fumble.
Ball's loose.
And let's see who's got it. I believe East has it. Quarterback never made connections with his running back.
Of course, Ken, a lot of this, people are going to be looked at, and they're jumping on the quarterback, but that east line is coming off the ball. We'll see it here so much faster. And the key play there was made again by Joey Scott, number 8. Joey Scott made a nice play on that, forcing the fumble on the quarterback.
All right, here goes East now as they take over at their 39-yard line. This ball's going back and forth here. Penalties and fumbles. Flag. I tell you, the flags are just dominating this football game.
Well, the wingback moved and then tried to reset, and he should have kept going. That time they were in a wing left, a flanker right type formation.
Well, we got penalty march back against East. It's going to bring up long yardage here. We have 2 wideouts to the near side. Split backfield. Scott pop pass. Incomplete, almost intercepted off the hands of McKelvey. He had good success with that pass in the first half. Ray went back to it, but a little too hard for McKelvey to handle.
Yeah, they like that pass, and Joey Scott's putting the ball right on the numbers tonight, and the receivers, that pass there probably should have been caught. You don't know what went on the field, but it certainly looked it from here.
All right, here come the Raiders now. He splits to the near side. He's been a big receiver tonight for East. I formation. Scott gives the tailback. Big hole. And Russell's getting some good yardage. He's up to the 46-yard line, short of the first down by about 4 yards.
And nice run that time by Bruce Russell. He picked his hole well, jetted up through it. He used his blockers downfield very, very well.
With all Raiders tonight, 28-0 East here, third period.
Well, I think Tom Zeriste is serving notice that they're coming along very, very well here. They look like they've matured through their first 2 ball games, that their young linemen are growing up.
Just a question of blending the new faces with the old from last year, and they've got a chance now to develop for those big games coming up. Fumble! DiMezza couldn't handle the football in the exchange from Scott. And it looks like East has retained possession. They pick up yardage. It's a nice play as far as pick up yardage, almost to the first down marker, right?
Well, I'll tell you, when things are going your way, they just seem the ball, the ball takes funny bounces, but that time it bounced right for Tom Zeriste.
4th and 2, Yatesy to punt from his own 35-yard line. Gets a good snap, rushes on, but he got it away.
Good high kick, man.
At the 20.
Great coverage there.
And excellent coverage. First man down was DiMezza, 42, who tripped up the return man.
Yeah, number 55, O'Donohue was in on a tackle, and a whole host of Raiders.
That was Johnson returning the kick, the quarterback. But DiMezza, give him the credit. He got down there and grabbed the hold of Johnson's foot, and then he got some help.
And good solid football by George Jeck. They had 4th and not real long yardage for a first down, but Coach Jeck figuring that he's going to play the percentages and kick the ball. That they could have just as easily gambled the 28-0 lead.
All right, Johnson back in a quarterback, hands off, but no hole for the Jaguars. Got a yard, 2nd and 9 for the Jags. 5 minutes left to play, third period, 28-0. East leading. First conference game of the year for Toms River East.
And there we
There you
did
see the Toms River East cheerleaders. Again, the Raiders stack up the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. And that time, Scott came up quickly from a safety position to make the tackle. We'll take a timeout and we'll come right back. We are back, ready to go. Final 4 minutes, 11 seconds of the third period, brought your way by the New Jersey National Bank, the Red Circle Bank, with offices throughout the Ocean County area.
Double tight end, guys. Wake up.
Jackson has the football in their own territory, trying somehow to get a score here. They've been very ineffective offensively. When they did start to move the ball, their own mistakes hurt them.
coming to the near side, and there's another good tackle by Joe Scott, who comes up so quickly.
Also, Ken, on that, they had number 32, Bruce Russell, blitzing from the other side of the Raider defense, putting a lot of heat on it.
So Scott's having a good game both ways, Ray. Offensively, he's looked sharp. Defensively, coming up very quickly from the safety position, making some good open field tackles.
Yeah, he's made a number of tackles right in the backfield, forced fumbles, and I believe even been in on a sack of the quarterback.
Remember, his brother Bob was an outstanding safety here at East. When they first started the program, made All-County.
Double up!
Down, Jags going to Worthy. And Worthy hemmed in, and I don't think he got it, Ray. Jags trying to go for it. Looks like he's short by at least a yard. I'm looking the wrong spot. They got a first down, Ray.
Yep, first down.
They marked that ball closer to that yard stripe than I thought they would.
Yeah, it's very deceiving from here, the angle, so he did get the first
So
down.
Jackson picks up the first down. They want to keep going here. Here's the man, bounces off a tackle and just kept going. Just lowered his shoulder and went right over a man. Another first down.
Yeah, that should be a...
Yeah, he marked it back a yard or two, but it's still a first down
yeah,
from
it's still
here.
a first down, and that was a heck of a run there.
McCabe.
Yeah, McCabe, and he put a heck of a hit on Tom O'Donohue.
Just
for
ran right over him.
River East and really leveled him there, and he kept his legs going. That's a sign of a good back.
That was a Larry Zonka type of run when Zonka was in his glory days with the Miami Dolphins. So it's a first down, 2 quick first downs in a row by the Jags. And Johnson hands off again.
Leg.
Worthy can't get out of the backfield. Lunges forward, maybe picks up a yard. Now they're talking to Yatesy. We have a yellow flag there, Ray. Looks like a penalty against Jackson. Yatesy, the captain of East, being consulted.
One thing, Ken, that we could mention here is that two of the Toms River East Raiders, Joey Scott and Jay McKelvey, two of their outstanding senior football players, are both outstanding students in the classroom. I believe Joey Scott is in the top 3, and I know that last year we talked with the coaching staff on Jay McKelvey. I believe they said he was in the top 20 or so, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have good, smart football players.
Big 15-yard penalty against Jaguars, and they've been doing this all night, Ray. We're not seeing anything new. They get a drive going, pick up 2 first downs, then commit the penalty, and they get pushed back. And that's been the story all night for Jackson. First and long, Worthy going outside, and finally brought down up a couple yards around the left end.
Yeah, it's now second and a lot of yards for a first down.
They've been keeping the ball on the ground here, Ray. I don't know whether they're discouraged by the interceptions or what the thinking is, but of course they're having success. They moved the football.
I think
Still, in this situation here, they got a long way to go now after the penalty.
Coach Reddy's just gone back to his basics and trying to establish his ground game and get something moving.
Again, they go to the ground. And Yatesy comes from behind to make stop on McCabe, who's been a bread and butter player here, doing a lot of action, seen a lot of action here, both ways for Jackson.
Yeah, Yatesy made the tackle. The play was forced by Joey Scott. He came up and forced it inside and gave Yatesy a good inside-out angle to make the tackle.
Did you believe they got another penalty, Ray? Looks like it. They're talking to East. I didn't see the flag, but they're having a long discussion with Yatesy, so it's got to be a penalty. Here it is. Jackson just killing themselves tonight with a flag. Bill Ruddy's got to be really frustrated over there in the far sideline.
Yeah, Jackson coaching staff has got to be a little concerned with the sloppy play here as far as getting penalties in crucial situations. We now have second and, I guess, over 30, huh, Ken?
Yeah, at least. So Jaguars just digging themselves a big hole here late in the third quarter. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go, trailing 28-0. Their own worst enemy here in the third period. And a man jumps off sides for Jackson. Just complete breakdown now, Ray. It looked like the right tackle jumped.
Well, it's tough. They're in a tough situation. They're trailing 28-0. They're not moving the ball real well.
Another
And
5 yards against the Jags.
they're really just hurting themselves now.
This is getting to be ridiculous now. So Jackson's just marched right down the field the wrong way. They were up near midfield. Now they're way back. And yard of scrimmage about the 20.
I think the line of scrimmage might even be inside the 20.
No,
No,
around
no.
20. Around the 20.
Around the 20-yard line.
And they try to go off the right guard, and not much of a hold off. On the bottom of the stack was Tony Infante, the linebacker.
It's kind of tough. The Jackson coach staff standing over there watching the clock, and it's like suspended over there. The clock doesn't seem to move.
I think this is the kind of night when you just want to get out of here as quick as you can if you're having the problems Jackson's having.
Sometimes you don't even want to look at this movie.
That's going to be it. They're just going to stay in that huddle at the end of the quarter. Well, here they come, but the clock's run out. That's the end of the third quarter with a score. Toms River High School East, 28, and Jackson nothing. Ray Wilson and I will be back in a moment for the final action of play. Final quarter coming up. We're back for the fourth quarter of action. It's coming your way by the New Jersey National Bank, the Red Circle Bank here in Ocean County for all your bank needs. Along with the other participating sponsors bringing you the action tonight, Pine Belt Chevrolet, Maritas, Service Star Hardware, Carolina Furniture, House of Paneling, Charney's, and H.I. Wright & Sons. They bring you all the action here. High school football on Clear Television Cable Corporation's Channel 8. 28-0 game here. That was kind of a
Explosive start by Toms River East when Joey Scott hooked up with Conte for the 68-yard touchdown pass, and after that it turned in, looked like some kind of a celebration out there. There were flags all over the place.
Well, Ed Sarluca comes off the field after talking to his defense. What a job he does running that 4-4 defense that he ran so successfully for Bob Fiacco over at Toms River North in 1979 when they were winning the state championship. Actually, I don't think he was there then. That was when he started, but he had set up that defense in his previous years under Bob, and then, of course, came to start the program with George Jeck here at East. Here we go, Jackson. And there's another big tackle as East comes in and sets the ball carrier down for a loss. On that stop, it looked like 51 Sherman, the inside linebacker. John Sherman, yes, I know. It is John Sherman. We're getting a little help here.
And John's a 5'5", 163-pound senior.
Is this a Sherman family in front of me here? Is this a Sherman family in front of me? We got the John Sherman family right in front of us here, giving a cheer as John made that tackle. John's a 5'5", 163-pound senior linebacker, plays the left inside position, number 51.
And just to go back to Ed Sarluca, he's got to be one of the premier defensive coordinators in this shore area. He just does an outstanding job.
Here's the punt. Russell at the 47, down to the 40-yard line where he stopped. 7-yard return of the play. And East again has excellent field position.
And a tackle was made by
Russell's limping as he gets up, Ray.
Jim Sheeran, 6 foot, 160-pound senior for the Jaguars. And now we are in the fourth quarter of the game. Can it be interesting to see when George Jeck does go to some of his other players? I noticed a quarterback warming up here on the sideline.
All right, here we go. Wing left, split end. Connie to the near side. Wing in motion. Fullback tripped up the line of scrimmage. No gain. Bring up 2nd and 10. Ray, I'm anxious to see Toms River South because of this young man, Sheldon Harvey, that's apparently really doing a job. That was the one position South was worried about with Tommy Forrester, the all-shore quarterback, graduating. Looks like Chip Parker is really going to do a job. Sheldon Harvey, playing a quarterback for South. Here we go. Flag on a play. Scott rolling to the near side, throws on a run. Low pass.
thought it was a great catch, number 15.
It was a catch. It looks like he caught it.
Ricky Verderosa.
Rick Verderosa, the receiver. Flag. Let's see what the penalty is.
Again, while we're waiting, we'll go back to Tom River South and Sheldon Harvey. Of course, Sheldon Harvey is probably related to the long. Here we got the repeat. Joey Scott rolling out to his right, delivers the ball. Great catch by Ricky Verderosa. But there's been a long line of great athletes in the Harvey family at Tom River. And Sheldon Harvey is a super athlete. Runs the quarterback position very well. He was a running back.
Now, is his dad Butch Harvey?
I was asking that same question. I don't know whether it's Butch Harvey, Midge Harvey, or Ed Harvey. There were three brothers at one time that played. Butch and Midge played the same team.
All right, we have a second down now, long yardage for East. Penalty pushes it back to the Jackson 47. Scott wants to throw, rolls the short side, trap, throws with a man all over.
Verderosa again.
And intercepted by Jackson at the 10-yard line. Verderosa, the intended receiver. And that man's shirt's so dirty, I haven't made out the number yet, Ray. Could be McKelvey, 40.
Here we
Let's
got
see if we
it
can see
again.
it better here.
Joey scrambles around, delivers the ball deep, probably forced that pass a little bit. It was number
McKelvey.
40.
McKelvey's played a good game tonight, Ray, for Jackson.
Yes, he
I've
has.
been impressed by him. Pat McKelvey, who came up with the football. He's a halfback on defense and a running back on offense. 5'9", 150-pound junior, Pat McKelvey. We may never get this game over with the referee stopping play here for penalties.
That will have to, Ken, go back on Sheldon Harvey and try to find out before broadcast which Harvey, where he comes from, whether he's, if he is one of the sons, or son of Randy or Butcher.
Jackson picks up the penalty here, and they have a first down, and straight ahead, just short of the first down. Bring up second and about one, right?
Yeah, that time Jackson hit the hole very well. They ran it the way Jackson offense is intended to be running. Come up there quick and explode. Second back through.
He's going to lose a yard.
And not really the kind of play that you would look for to pick up that kind of yardage. You know,
Worthy was the ball carrier. The first man threw. Nobody paid the attention to that time. No, the defense was ready for that play.
And Dion Worthy, good speed and good quickness, but he seems to juke around a little bit too much and not hit the hole.
So third and a short two for Jackson. The ball's on the 40.
Number 89, Jim Sheeran, is brought in to play for the Jaguars.
And the second man gets it. He's tripped up behind his own line of scrimmage. He'll lose on the play.
And there could have been a flag on
I
that.
believe it's John Sherman in there.
The right halfback moved for the Jaguars that time, and then it could have very easily been a penalty. Right now, the Raider defense is dominating at the line of scrimmage.
And it's going to be fourth and long two. They lost about a half a yard on a play. So East defense getting tough here at the 40-yard line. And they went to the fullback, and I don't think he got it right. Looks like he's short from here, but we got a bad angle. Let's see what the official says. From here, it doesn't look like he has it. McKelvey gets off the bottom of the stack. Jay McKelvey on the tackle.
They'll probably
Looks
give
like East is going to get the football.
courtesy of the measurement here, which is a good move by the officials, and it avoids all controversy. I think we're going to get the nose by the half.
Yeah, he got a first down. Fooled me, right? I didn't think he had it.
Kelby out for the Raiders.
McKelvey hurt his arm on that play when he made tackle. He got off the bottom of the stack holding his right arm. Taking a look at it right now. They don't want to lose him. Johnson
Out
looks
to
up
Worthy.
for the completion. Worthy picks up about 8.
And Tom O'Donoghue on the tackle. 5'10", 177-pound senior for Tom DeVries.
Clock showing 7 minutes running now. Left of this ball game. Raiders 28, Jaguars nothing. Don't forget tomorrow night. Here's a replay.
Here we see the delivery to catch by Worthing and tackle by O'Donoghue.
Don't forget tomorrow night. Vinelands against Point Pleasant Beach on Channel 8. Again, they stack them up behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 60, Tim Werder.
So East keeps up with his big defensive plays. And that's a big 3-yard loss for Jackson.
Ken, I'll tell you, East has some of the shortest football players on their roster that I've ever seen. 5'2", 5'1", 5'5".
Second back stacked up, no gain. No gain by McCabe. Scott on the bottom that time.
It's really interesting the way that the Toms River East program has matured in its time. What they have, like 87 candidates report out for their football team, and that's a large number in this day and age with kids out for football.
Fourth down and thought 3 for the Jags. Raiders trying to get their hands back on the football once again. Nearing 5 minutes to play in the game. Now Johnson rolling out. He's going long for Crowell. Split in. Intercepted. And that's Connie. Connie's having a good game both ways, too.
Yeah, Connie's doing a super job. Mark Connie, 6'1", 165-pound senior.
Johnson tried to air it out and go for the whole ball wax to Bill Crawl, his end. But Connie, right there, here's the replay.
Here we go, he goes back again. Johnson throws the ball a little bit off balance, and that's why it falls short. He doesn't get that dip, he doesn't get his feet and deliver it.
Now the official discussing something with one of the Jackson captains. Gonzalez at 6'4".
And Mike Giglio was also in the conversation.
Penalty against Raiders.
Tim, while we're talking about...
All right, we're going to come right back. We'll take a break here. 5:14, Raiders take over. And Russell. See if the Raiders just try to run the clock out here. 5 minutes to play. What were you saying before?
I was going to go backwards about the growth of the Toms River East program. I also understand that they have an immense sophomore football team. I'm talking about physical size. That's probably bigger than a lot of varsity football teams on there, especially their line. I'm surprised Joey Scott's still in the game at offensive quarterback at this time.
All right, we're getting towards the end of this ball game. 28-0 Raiders. Tailback. Russell falls forward for another couple of yards after the tackle was made. Going to bring up third down for Toms River East. And they need about 5.
Of course, Joey Scott's the mainstay of the Toms River East basketball team also, and Coach Jack Brace is counting heavily on him this year to lead the Raiders to a good season.
All right, Raiders send a slot to the right. I formation. Scott rolling. Scott throws, got his man, completion to number 15, Ricky Verderosa. That's 2 good catches by Rick Verderosa, the brother of the outstanding lineman here last year, Jim Verderosa.
Yeah, Rick's got a good pair of hands. Here we'll see it in a replay. Got the I formation, little play action. Joey rolls right, throws, delivers the ball to Verderosa, makes a nice catch. And it was really a key block thrown in the backfield there by the up back out of the I formation for Toms River East.
So Verderosa picks up a first down for the Raiders. 35-yard line. Trying to get outside. Bobby Haynes and
Bob Haynes, 5'10", 185-pound senior.
He alternates with Dowgin at that fullback position. He ran, fought for those 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Raiders just trying to move that football and kill the clock. 3 minutes coming up now, left in this game. And it's been all east tonight. Oh, here's a good run for a first down, right? Good, solid effort. Refusing to go down. Well, he got the first down.
That was Haynes again running the ball, running it very, very well.
First down for the Raiders. Ball's at their own 45-yard line.
And we have Intesto and Fitzimmons coming in for the Raiders.
Right, we're going to have to decide on a player of the game here pretty soon. Sponsored by New Jersey National Bank. We'll have the plaque on the post-game show presented to the player of the game. Flag on a play.
Is that a flag?
I think we've seen a few of those tonight. Well, I know who one of our players of the game is going to be, no doubt about it. We'll announce Mark Conte as our player of the game. And our co-player of the game will be Joe Scott. So, and I think we give it to him either offensively or defensively. We'll give it to Conte for offense. Scott, we're probably going to give for offense too, but he's played great on defense too, either way. But they're our co-players of the game, Mark Conte and Joe Scott. Ray's going to head on down for the post-game show. So congratulations, Mark Conte and Joe Scott, for their outstanding play here tonight. Conte scored the first touchdown on a 15-yard pass from Scott, and then hooked up on the bomb of 68 yards from Scott. We have left-handed pass by Scott that time. Threw with the left hand, right?
No, that's number 9.
Oh, I'm sorry, we got the new quarterback in Alan Gerber. Ray, you're going to leave us? Ray's going to head down. I'm not watching what's going on here. We got Alan Gerber in the ball game. Is the backup quarterback. So the clock now down to 2:02 left to play in the game. Gerber running the offense now. He's the backup quarterback and he's the place kicker for the Raiders. Well, that time no chance for the play to develop. Stacked up before it could develop. Loss on the play. 2-yard loss. It's going to be even bigger, 3-yard loss. Alan Gerber's a 6 foot, 175-pound senior. He backed up Scott last year. He takes over the first string kicking role this year. And Alan rolling, escapes the pressure, and he's going to go, still fighting, finally goes down, flag on a play. Tackled at the 41-yard line. Making the stop, Joe Bannis, number 78 for the Jaguars. Now let's see what the penalty is. Joe Bannis, 6'3", 195, senior tackle, made the stop for Jackson. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for Pinelands taking on Point Pleasant Beach down in Tuckerton. And then next week we'll have another doubleheader for you, Manchester and Pinelands and Southern and Toms River High School North. We'll get a chance to see Joe Ryan, the outstanding quarterback, who was the veteran over at North. Of course, his brother Mike, I should say his brother Jamie, a split end, graduated, went on to the Naval Academy. But Mike is still throwing the football and throwing it well for North. They beat Middletown South last week for their first victory. There's the penalty against Jackson. The ball's now at the Jaguar 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Rays headed down to the field. We have 1 minute and 12 seconds left in this ball game. Gerber runs up in the pocket and dives for a couple of yards. Tripped up by Banis. It'll be 2nd and 9. 40 seconds left. Clock running. And this could possibly be the last play of the game if the Raiders keep the ball on the ground. 30 seconds to go. Gerber wants to throw. He's going to go long. And intercepted by Jackson inside the 15-yard line. And the clock stops as they go out of bounds with 10 seconds to play. So Gerber, trying to get a score himself tonight, went for the distance. And Jackson comes up with the interception. We got 10 seconds to go here for Jackson. Fans beginning to make their exit here at High School East. Timeout, Toms River High School East. It's been a lot of penalties tonight, not the neatest played game, but I imagine George Jeck will be happy to get a 28-0 win here. And we'll talk to him on the post-game show. So we got 10 more seconds here if we get this game underway again. So stay tuned. We'll have the presentations of the New Jersey National Bank Player of the Game plaques to Mark Conte, split end, number 84, and quarterback Joe Scott, number 8. Toms River High School East fans still playing here tonight to our left. And we're about ready to go with the final seconds of this game. So East becomes 3-0 now as they just begin conference play tonight. Johnson throwing, and there's still time left on that clock. So clock stops on the incompletion. Jackson on the 15-yard line, 2nd and 10. Kind of a hazy night here at High School East. Nice night, comfortable night for the fans and the players, but very hazy. Very difficult reading numbers tonight. This pass is completed to number 14, Chuck Holmes. And it stops the clock with 3 seconds to go. He's got a first down. I'll have to move the yard markers. And clock is stopped. One more play for Jackson. Jackson's going to call a timeout. 3 seconds to play. So one more shot for Jackson. You probably see Johnson just throw it as far as he can. Ed Sarluca on the field of defense comes off. We're ready to go. Possibly the final play of the game. It will be. Johnson's going to go long. He's got a man completed to 40, and that's going to end the ball game. That is it. Sherman makes the tackle. That's the end of the ball game. With a final score, Toms River High School East 28, Jackson nothing. We'll be back with the presentations on the game show in just one moment. Players of the game, and as I said, Joey Scott could have got it either way. Made some great plays on defense from a safety position, but really sparked the offense, teaming up with Connie with the big plays tonight. So he gets the player of the game plaque. He's been here before. Joey, congratulations. Another good job. And I'm going to say it wasn't exactly a thrilling game for a spectator to watch. I'm sure the East fans liked it because you scored 28 points.
but it wasn't an artistic game. A lot of penalties. What was going on out there with all those penalties, the ball going back and forth?
Well, there was a lot of offsides plays. In the first half, it was basically they were going offsides and committing 15-yard penalties. And then in the second half and towards the end of the first half, we started getting sloppy and having dumb penalties called against us.
It seemed like Jackson every once in a while would put something together in offense, pick up a couple first downs, and then commit a big error, a big costly penalty, and really hurt themselves.
Well, we had our defense geared to stop their T formation, and then when they came out and they didn't even use their T, we geared our defense to stop the other formations. And then towards the end of the first half and the whole second half, they came out and started running the T again. So they caught us off guard a couple times, but other than that, I thought we shut them down pretty well.
Does that seem strange, that quick cuddle they have up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry, going quick count? You don't see it on any other teams around. I guess it's a little hard to get used to in a week.
Yeah, you have to prepare for it. That's all you can do, practice and prepare for it, because they've been doing that forever, how long Ruddy's been there, and you just have to get ready for it.
We haven't seen your other two games this year when you beat Rahway last week and then your opening game win. I'm going to ask you to compare this one to the other two as far as East performance.
Well, tonight, in the first two games, we didn't even score in the first half. But tonight we came out ready to play, and that was the difference between the first 2 weeks and this week. We were ready to play from the opening gun, and then the second half was just a matter of preserving the victory. After that first play in the second half, it was just a matter of preserving the victory.
You think that really broke their backs, that first bomb you threw there to start the second half after Coach goes in, Coach Ruddy prepares them to come out for the second half, all that halftime preparation? I would have to think that really did them in.
Yeah, they probably thought they might have been able to come back, but after that play, there's no way. They gave up probably.
We thought your third period score and the interception, your third score in the second quarter kind of really took the air out of their sails, and then you left no doubt about it when you came out there in the third quarter. Tell me about your new man you're teaming up with here tonight. Connie looks pretty good, made some good catches with you and him teaming up. You got McKelvey back from last year. Looks like you ought to be able to throw the ball pretty well this year.
Yeah, Mark's got really good speed, and he's good on the deep patterns, and Jay's good on pop passes over the middle, which we used a lot tonight. And our two wingbacks are good, Mark Yates and Steve DiMezza. They can get deep, and they run good disciplined patterns, out patterns, and things like that. So our receiving corps is, I think, one of the better in the county. How's the offensive line coming along? Because we thought that was the big problem, getting the new kids in there. You lost a lot of good linemen from last year. Sigler went, Verderosa graduated, and I think it was a question of getting time for you veterans to gel with a new lineman. How's it coming along? Well, that's what what you think is what everybody else thinks. The papers, everybody thinks that it's our linemen, but they've been coming around, and we knew that they'd come around. This team that we have here has been playing together since we were freshmen. We were the same freshman team, and we knew the line were going to be able to come around. They've been doing a really good job, the whole line. So these guys are guys you're used to playing with. This is nothing new for you. Right. I've been playing with them for 4 years, and they know what to expect, and I know what to expect from them. Okay, I'm going to let you get in and get a shower. Congratulations, Joe, on a great game. Okay, Joe Scott, the senior quarterback. Ray's going to make the honors, and we'll bring him in here. And Ray, you want to present this gentleman with his award?
Okay, we have Mark Conte, number 84 for Tom East, and the Jackson Jaguars saw a lot of the back of this guy's jersey tonight as he was hustling into the end zone. Mark had quite a night. Mark, I believe you had two TDs, 1 interception, and 4 receptions altogether, right? That's not a bad night's work. How do you feel coming out of a game like that?
I'm excited. It pleased me very much. It really motivates me.
Yeah, well, that's good. You said you were excited going into the game. Why don't you tell everybody what year in school you are and what your future looks like?
Yeah, I'm a senior, and I want to go to college and major in business.
Okay, and have you got any idea of where you would want to go to school now, or are you just still sort of roaming through the guidance office and looking around?
I'm undecided.
Okay. The start of the second half, you guys came out and exploded for a big touchdown over there. The play looked like possibly you were reading the defense, and the guy was playing you a little tight, and you went by him. And how did you feel when you broke out there and you're streaking for the end zone and you're all by yourself?
I was terribly excited. Like, I saw the flag and I just motored towards it. It was a great feeling.
What kind of speed do you have, Mark? Do you know your 40 time?
I average, sometimes I do 4.5, and then other times I do really bad, like 5 flat. So it varies.
Depends on whether everybody's chasing you, right?
Yeah.
And you were telling me about your defensive role. You come in on specific situations. What do you like playing better, offense or defense?
Oh, offense a lot better. I like to score a touchdown.
Score a touchdown. Well, it looked like you like to score them on defense there, too, with that interception. Well, listen, congratulations on a great ball game. We'd like to present you with that plaque, and I hope that you have a great year. Okay?
Mark, I'm going to ask you what it's like to work with a quarterback like Joey Scott. Here's one of the better ones around, and he really seemed to put it in there to you. Really throws it just right to you.
Yeah, Joe's a great quarterback because, you know, he can run, he can throw, he can do everything. He has a lot of poise, a lot of finesse when he throws the ball. It's great.
I see another Connie on the roster. Chris, is that your brother?
Yeah, that's my brother. He's like 6 minutes older than me. It's fun.
Twin. We got twins then.
Twins, yeah.
All right. So, and I think we got twin linemen on the team that Coach Jeck can't tell apart. I want to ask him about that in a minute. So we got a couple twins on this, a couple sets here. Anyway, you guys are 3-0 now, and do you know who's on the schedule for next week?
Yeah, we have Brick Memorial next week, Friday night, 7:30.
Brick Memorial came up with a win last week, and looks like they're getting things straightened out. It might be tough next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. We're looking forward to it. We'll be up for it.
It was a tough game last year. They came over here and played a good game here Thanksgiving Day or Saturday after Thanksgiving. Okay, Mark, we'll let you go. Nice job. All right, congratulations. Now, let's get the head man in, and that is George Jeck. Congratulations, Coach. Coach, I said up in the press box, wasn't the neatest game in the world, a lot of penalties and so on. But I guess you got to feel pretty good to be 3-0 now and 28-0 win over Jackson.
Every time you play Jackson, they're a scrappy bunch of kids, as I told you in the beginning of the ball game, and they were a little frustrated at the end that they weren't, I guess, playing that well, and things started to get out of hand. But I was pleased with our kids in the first half. They were aggressive, and we took some penalties that I ordinarily wouldn't go for, and I still don't, but they're starting to get a little tougher, some of the younger kids, and you have to accept that.
Here we are thinking, well, you got a lot of new faces in there with Sigler leaving and Verderosa, some of these good linemen that graduated, and you got to get these new faces in there. But Joey Scott told us, hey, these guys aren't new. We played with them as freshmen, and they're going to do the job, and I got all the confidence in the world in them.
Well, they're seniors, and they're not big. You know, I mean, they're young. They're small, but they're aggressive, and they work hard, and fundamentally they're sound. And you know, I just hope we don't get overpowered down the road. People who are just as quick and smart and bigger, you know, we might have some problems with them.
How about that defensive unit? We talked a lot about the play of Yatesy. Werder looked good. We considered him for player of the game tonight. Yatesy, of course, was a veteran that stepped in there last year with an injury and took over that position about halfway through the season. We thought he did a super job for you, helping you go to Giant Stadium. But that 4-4 defense you've had has been tough every year.
Yeah, Mark is 150 pounds, and 140 pounds of it is hard. You have to know him. I don't know why people keep running at him. You know, he's just a tough kid. He hangs in there. And Timmy Werder's coming along. He's a junior. He reads very well as a defensive end, and if they try to screen to his side, he's always there. Somehow he's always around the football when it's a fumble or a screen pass. And we're young inside. Teddy Finta's a junior, and Paulie Archimbaud's a junior. And I hope Jay McKelvey's okay. You know, Jay is one of our... We depend on Jay a lot. And if he's hurt with Richie Phillips and a couple injuries last week, you know, we'll have 4 boys with broken bones in 2 weeks. And, you know, it's going to hurt us a little bit.
What's it look like, a possible broken right arm?
Our doctor said that it seems like there's a slight fracture there. You know, he usually doesn't say that. He usually says, I don't know, Coach. But he came out on a limb and said he thinks it is. So I don't know how bad it is or whatever. Jay says it doesn't hurt. But he would lie, you know, he wants to play.
Ray, anything you want to say to the coach before we wrap it up?
No, I just want to congratulate George. I know he wants to get inside with his team. It was a great ball game, and I think that that concern he had for his offensive and defensive line early, he can start to relax a little bit. I think they're coming along real well, and I was impressed with those kids. They're quick, and they get off the ball, and I thought they dominated the line of scrimmage tonight.
Yeah, well, we have to count on our quickness, Ray, because if we don't, you know, we're going to get beat. And our backs like to run. You know, we have some backs who can move, and we have a great athlete at quarterback. I mean, you know, I've heard a lot about the quarterbacks in the area, but I'll stick mine up with any of them. You know, and he's the first quarterback I ever allowed to call the plays. He reminds me of myself on the field. Joey and I are very close, very tight. We think alike in practice, and I wanted him to be intuitive and flow, because he's at his best when he can do that, and I felt I was restricting him a little bit, even though, you know, I'd go back to it if I felt it was necessary. So I let him call the plays tonight. We prepared together, and I was very proud of him and happy to give him the opportunity.
Nice praise for Joe Scott coming from the Montclair State Hall of Fame quarterback, George Jeck, who goes into the Hall of Fame this month, and as we talked about on the pregame show. And again, our congratulations on that honor, George. And we're going to let you go. Good luck with Brick Memorial next week. I know Donnie Reed's going to have his team up as he did last year when they came here to play you guys. And hope that you can have another big performance next week.
For sure. Thank you very much for doing our games. We appreciate it, both of you.
All right, George, thank you. Okay, that's going to do it.